I sent her, and then Isaac commented, though I don't know which personality he's commenting on. He says they insist that they are right. Then there was someone who asked what the meaning of spontaneous is amongst the words.
Okay. Although we passed it. Spontaneous, it just means doing things without thinking. Like right now, spontaneously, I just leave this place and I start talking. I have no issues. You know, spontaneity is just a friend comes and tells me, let's go to the dining hall. I'm there. I'm not even thinking I was supposed to be doing this. You know, spontaneity. Yes. Okay.
Then there's,
so do
there's a comment. Antonin says, I have seen very many people here. And then Blessings Doreen asks, is it possible to have a blend of personalities that manifest in different occasions?
You have two major ones that always come out, but because we have two parents with 4 grandparents, high chances are you will not miss some of these personalities. So what is happening is that you have 2 top ones, but then some of us normally tend to have them, some can be leveled. Then a few other things will now make us not seem, in fact, I should have said, you're supposed to do that test without thinking of yourself with what? In terms of you've gone to school, or you are a Christian, or you are a Muslim, without a religious perspective, you just think of yourself raw. Because even as we grow in age, some of that change as we grow in age. But when you're a child, these things now came out very, very clearly. And once in a while, when you're given an opportunity to act like a child, you will find them coming out. For example, I may be a teacher, and in front of my students, I'll not be very spontaneous because duty demands that I am strict. But when I am with my fellow teachers, if I am sanguine, I will give all the stories on earth. I will be excited, jumping here and there. It's like when you are, nobody is watching you. You are put your, what do you call it? That you are not protecting yourself. Then that personality comes out. Yes. So do I move on just to finish?
I think there's one more comment here. Let me see what it is. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure whether people understood this tally. I have a comment here from Isaac. He says, I find myself falling between 3 and 4. I'm not sure what 3 and 4 is, whether it's the 3rd and 4th personality, or yeah, that's the comment that I have. But just to maybe ask you a question.
Sorry,
okay.
Kathy. Yeah, I just meant that I find myself being that is golden retriever, as well as sanguine. That's what I meant. After what Dr. Ri has explained.
All right. Yeah, I think just going by what Dr. Judith has said is we have a blend of all the 4, and 2 of them are stronger. So there's a question here. Can personality change due to life events?
They may not change, but they can be hidden. And that's why I'm saying things may happen, but when you put your guards down, then the personality starts showing. But because we are human beings with minds, we can hide them. For example, I might be a personality who does not like being around people. I may be melancholic, and I'm very, very critical of things around me. But because I have learned to live in the society, I will not voice it. However, inside my mind, in my head, I am speaking everything to that person. I am criticizing them. I'm tearing them down. So because of the way we live in our society, I learn to control the outside. But when I know that I am melancholic and I'm critical, what happens is the moment I start criticizing somebody inside, I stop, because I realize that person may not be wrong. it is probably me who is being too critical. That is how now the self-awareness comes in. Okay, I have a few more slides and time is fast spent. Allow me to just peruse through them because I don't think we'll do this again and then we call it a night. So apart from being aware of your personality, it's very important to be aware of yourself in terms of what we call the Johari's window. Most of us or some of us here know it. Let us be aware that all of us, we have four parts. One is the public or the open space that everybody knows about me. There are things you know about me that you know everybody knows. I know about myself. You know, like I know I can talk. That's part, and maybe some of you have known my personality by now, part of it. Then there is the facade, the part that is unknown by others, but I know it. Unknown by others, but I know it. And some of it I would probably never want anybody to know. And then there is the blind spot, which I don't know, but you may know. So as a debater, as a human being, somebody will come and tell me, Mama Gweno, I think this and this and this about you may need to change. The good thing is I should look at what they've said and consider it. But if I'm not aware of that, I will tend to be defensive. So it's just good to be aware that there are certain things that people will know about me that I don't know about myself, and I should be willing to be corrected. That will make me a greater person to live with and a greater debater. For example, when I am debating and I handle things, maybe I overuse my gestures and I'm not aware of it. Somebody else might come and tell me, I realize, oh, okay, I need to do something about it. And then finally, there is a part of us that is totally unknown. Only God knows it, and we'll know it when we're in heaven. So if there are things you discover about yourself that you never knew, don't be too hard on yourself thinking, how come I didn't know this? I'm weak, I'm all that. No. That is just part of life. And then I just wanted to finish this and then we can have some comments. Communication skills. This is also very important, especially as good debaters. Am I a good listener when I'm debating? Am I aware that I'm a good listener? And I think we mentioned that in passing before. Do I critically consider how I respond, or I just respond like a sanguine, probably spontaneously without considering? Do I always listen to people with an answer already? A friend calls me and tells me, I have this issue. As she's speaking, I'm already giving the answers. Or do I tell myself to listen first and then prepare the answer? Most of us call it wisdom, but we know it is a skill. It is something we learn. When somebody speaks to me, do I note things on paper? Very important most of the time. Do I note the people I'm speaking to in terms of their age, their level of language, their education and exposure, especially for the debaters? Because there are times some of us are gifted with vocabulary, and I'm speaking to children of lower primary, and I'm packing them with huge bombastic words. And when I leave that place, I'm feeling I have really delivered. Have I really delivered? What about my pronunciations? I know as long as we are born where we are born, we'll always have father tongue or what we call mother tongue interference. But am I keen on my pronunciation? Because pronunciation can be an enabler or a hindrance. There are certain words, maybe for us who live around, if I say my river is aching, you'll understand. But for Justin, probably he'll wonder, what is that? And yet, because of my tongue, I wanted to say my liver, but I said my river. So it's important that we are aware of our pronunciation, and if we have problems with them, we work on them. And then, do I realize that my outward appearance also communicates to my audience? If I am aware of that, then I will adjust. For example, I don't know, somebody will respond later. I am told when you are going to meet an authority, huge, like the president, you don't put on red, because red symbolizes that you are the authority. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can address that. But communication skills and levels. And then awareness on preparation. Do I take time to understand my topic? Or I'm so spontaneous that the moment I get the topic, I start working on it. It's important that we need to be aware. Do I write down my points that I'm going to research on, or I just take books and I start researching? I will wear out very, very fast. Organization helps. Do I know what to prepare? And these ones, I'll go through them one by one here. Number one, in terms of content. When I'm preparing my content, I must be aware that the content is relevant to the question, that it is systematic in flow, that it is relevantly supported with statistics, facts, and illustrations. Otherwise, it will be considered hearsay. That it must have elements that sustains the audience. And so here I am talking to the melancholic. You may not love jokes, and by the way, it's not everybody, but for the sake of your audience who love a few nice jokes, put in once in a while, put in a say, put in a proverb, give an experience that somebody can identify with, and give an example the audience can relate with or to. That is in terms of content preparation. My verbal cues. Now, I'm almost feeling like I'm teaching in high school again. Non-verbal and verbal cues. Practice on a variety of our tones. Once we are through with writing what we are presenting, let's practice so that the tones are not monotone. When people become monotonous, then chances are it becomes a lullaby. So when people start sleeping and I'm not aware of myself, most times I'll think, what is wrong with the audience? Maybe I need to check, how about my tone? Am I reaching them or I'm boring them? Do I sound like rain on a hot day? Okay, that's symbolic. Practice audibility and avoid shouting at the audience. Right now, you can control the volume that's coming to you. But I know some people who, when they are speaking, whether they have 5 people or 10 people, the voice, the volume, the pitch is the same, shouting. So we must be aware that my voice is such that I shout, so that we tone them down. And then try to be audible. I remember when I not first started, but it's something that I've had to work on. I used to talk and I would think, because I'm hearing myself, people are hearing me. Until one time I was told in a meeting, you have spoken, but there's nothing we had. I was shocked, but I realized it's important to be corrected and correct. So practice audibility in large halls, in small halls. Practice pronunciation, I think I mentioned that, and the dictionary should be our friend as much as possible. Practice breathing and pauses so that we don't run out of breath when addressing audiences, because audiences will always remember us. There is a video going on about preachers. I don't know how many have seen it, and I'll demonstrate that preachers speak, and the Lord said, so the person is asking, what has breathing got to do with the message? But I believe somebody told them that's how you reach people. Who knows? On a light note, that was on a light note. Let's practice breathing and pausing, and then set a comfortable pitch so that we don't disturb our hearers. Catherine, I know I'm moving very, very fast, but kindly allow me, I just finish, please. Non-verbal cues. Be aware to observe your audience for any signs that you are losing them. Like if there's too many whispers among the audience, it's important you check yourself as the speaker. If so many audience are yawning, check yourself as the speaker. Even if it is lunch hour. Even if it is lunch hour, we need to check ourselves as the speaker. Check on our non-verbal cues so that they're relevant. Appropriate facial expression. Appropriate eye contact. Sometimes I've been in a meeting where the speaker stares directly at you for so long that you feel uncomfortable. That can make the person stop listening. So we don't stare, we just have appropriate eye contact, appropriate gestures. If I was talking to you and my hands were always behind me, I don't know if you can see them, you'd be like, hey, she's so bored. She should finish what she's saying. So we must be conscious of our non-verbal cues. Please do not lean on the podium because it shows a lack of confidence. And I've said, do not stare at the audience. Our physical appearance, I'm finishing, people. I'm on slide 20 out of 23. And the last one is just to say thank you. So I have, I think, 2 slides. 2 slides, yes. First impressions. You can never have first impressions twice. It takes 20 interactions to correct the first wrong impression. that is from Atomic Habits. So first impressions are very important. We must be neat, and we've talked about that in dressing and even facial area. There are some of us who speak, and as we speak, you always see things gathering around here. If you're aware, as you practice on the mirror, you will always carry a handkerchief so that you can always be doing this in a nice way. Otherwise, people will stop looking at you because they feel like the content that is white around here, it can be offensive. Then let's avoid too much distractions, too much accessories that I just jingle. I move and everything around me is jingling with blinks. And then we must exude confidence. Ladies in the group, say amen. The science of art of self-assurance tells us that confidence, lack of confidence, is when we overthink, when we want to please people, and we are unable to let go of defeat. So when I'm on stage and I'm overthinking, I want to please everybody, I can't let go of how I performed last time. I am blacklisted from being a confident person. And then as I'm almost finishing, our gait and pose is very important. When we stand before people and I'm aware of myself, I stand up straight. I stand up straight. Just think of President Obama, the way he stands. I just admire the way he delivers his speech. And I'm aware it is out of practice, practice, practice. And finally, what is discipline in debate? You can read this wherever you are to yourself. Diligence. D stands for diligently, investigating, successive comment or composition, intentionally planning, legitimate interactions intelligently, and then navigating exciting encounters. That is discipline in debate. Diligence, investigating, successive comments, intentionally planning, legitimate. That is why we need evidence. And then interaction means I will meet with people, I will discuss with people, and I must do it intelligently. As I navigate, to navigate is going across like waters, looking here and there. You don't want to make mistakes. You don't want to hit icebergs. And then making the debating encounters exciting. May God bless you. Catherine, thank you.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for the beautiful slides. So I want to share some comments here. Grace Gathwa said, I'm very surprised. She also says, I think I'm learning a lot, taking time for like doing a research. Okay. Anne says, wow, learned a lot today. Thank you. Afnan says, thank you, madam. Isaac Mwangi says, great presentation and very informative. So far, those are the comments that have been shared.
Wow.
Yeah, I concur and agree with everyone who has shared. Perhaps if I can see there's a new comment. Some are just, thank you so much. It's impactful. It was a great interaction. That's Benson and Elizabeth, respectively. I like the drift of the discussion, how you've taken it from being aware of yourself, then taking us into our personalities. I know for a fact that I am a melancholic. I'm a very serious melancholic. And I have phlegmatic tendencies. So on those two extremes or those two ends, I score very highly. And I think you might actually agree with me that the past 1 year, that personality has really, it has really come out. Yes.
Sure.
I'm those people who will take a bit of time to do their work because I don't want to mess it up. So I need to actually go through it. So someone else will wonder why you're taking a lot of time. And I'm like, I need to actually cross all my I's and dot all my I's and cross all the T's before I can submit this. So when you're
Mhm.
aware of these differences between yourself and others, you're also much more kind to yourself, or kinder to yourself
Very
than you would be. Because I know in high school, I maybe sometimes I would wonder, how come? Not that I'm a slow learner, I just want to be detailed. So I've
Mhm.
understood the content completely, but I really want to write my notes in a certain way, draw my diagrams in a certain way, and I will write a lot of notes, even in university. People are in the same lecture. Someone has 2 sentences, I have 10. So
Mhm.
those differences are good to note. We
Yeah.
have someone raising their hand. That's Amondi.
Mhm.
Amondi, you can go ahead.
I wanted to say thank you. I've learned a lot. Yeah, and I've identified that I am phlegmatic. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Um, is Justin gone?
I still
Has
have
he?
I have so many comments coming in.
All right.
People are
Before you give the
Justin.
comment, oh,
Mhm.
Justin, I wanted him to
Yes,
just
just
say one more thing
okay.
because most of us joined after he had spoken. So for those who
Okay.
are still on top, I just want him to greet the people one more time if he doesn't mind. Those who didn't see
Okay.
him last time, because he keeps time. So
Yeah.
Justin, just a word for the rest of us. Then as we give our comments, at least they'll have met our visitor from Loyola in the United States.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Thank you so much, Dr. Judith. Thank you. That presentation was great. I put in the comments. I think one of the greatest journeys that we can take, whether you're a debater, a human being, young person, parent, educator, however, is a journey from your head to your heart. And self-awareness often is that road in between. So we're always learning more about ourselves. And what I said earlier is, I think part of that journey and learning more about ourselves is recognizing that the power that we have within ourselves. So young people, when you enter that space, your self-awareness and learning, I'm a golden retriever. I found that out today. Whether you're a golden retriever or otter or whomever, you have power. And so when you enter into these spaces to debate against your opponents and in front of those judges, your self-awareness enhance your power. It shouldn't make you think, "Ooh, I have a deficit," or anything like that. It's helping enhance your power. And these techniques and skills like Dr. Judith just went over enhance that. So great presentation. I'm really, really honored really to be here. So thank you so much. Yeah, it was great.
Thank you. And one more thing I may ask, now that we have a few of us and we are on kind of a holiday shortly, some will be going back to school. Are there opportunities for debaters that you may probably alert the team? Like after school, are there some opportunities or I don't know how to put it. Yeah, just opportunities that somebody can access because there are debaters out there. Maybe you could tell us one or two things. And then if possible, we can meet your students once you resume someday. That will also be good.
I would love for our students, our students to interact in our upcoming school year. I would love for that to happen. We're going to make that happen. I think there's formal and informal ways. So just everything that you just went over in that presentation, those skills are going to be needed in so many different professions. Any profession where you're interacting with other people, any professions or any jobs or any vocations in which you want to lead, everything that you talked about is going to be used there. For formally, I do know in the US that there are some college and secondary level education schools that have debate programs that students can go to and participate on a college level. I know a lot of folks that go into political work, go into politics or international politics, have a background in debating. Some of them will have a background in theater as well. Folks that work in religious sectors of our different communities oftentimes will have some type of, Dr. Judith, you talked about the preacher, you know, the preacher who will have studied these things that you're talking about to know how to connect with the people that they're standing in front of. So there are so many different avenues that debate and engaging in this work will open up for you, without a doubt.
Thank you. That was nice to hear and encouraging. All right, I believe we need to now finish in the next 3 minutes. Jonathan's, oh, sorry, his hand is not up. Anything else you wanted to read, Kathy? I guess it's respectful that we just go through what somebody has written if we can, and then
Yes.
I'd set the meeting for 2 hours, by the way, but I think we'll do one and a half because of the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Isaac.
There's a comment here from Jonathan Ganga. He says, thank you for teaching about personalities and to remind us that we have to enhance our self-awareness. Isaac Mwangi says, thank you, Justin, and we look forward to greater networking soon. Justin says, yes, Isaac, thank you. And I think that would be the end of our comments for now.
Thank you. Thank you. In that case, one person can share or can say a prayer, or we share the words of the grace. I'm not sure. I believe it's always important to involve God in all that we do. Afna Ahmed. Hi. All right. Can somebody just say a quick prayer